Lead Me to the Cross, an online vlog retreat for Holy Week. I'm Father Mark Stefan Giese, and this is the fifth part of my online retreat. Wednesday of the Holy Week, Spy Wednesday. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. One of the 12, who was called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, "What are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you?" They paid him 30 pieces of silver, and from that time on he looked for an opportunity to hand him over. On the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the disciples approached Jesus and said, "Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?" He said, "Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, 'The teacher says, my appointed time draws near. In your house I shall celebrate the Passover with my disciples.'" The disciples then did as Jesus had ordered and prepared the Passover. When it was evening, he reclined at the table with the 12. And while they were eating, he said, "Amen, I say to you, one of you will betray me." Deeply distressed at this, they began to say to him one after another, "Surely it is not I, Lord." He said in reply, "He who has dipped his hand into the dish with me is the one who will betray me. The Son of Man indeed goes as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would be better for that man if he had never been born." Then Judas, his betrayer, said in reply, "Surely it is not I, Rabbi." He answered, "You have said so." Today, the text is all about Judas, about his betrayal, how this builds up, and I want to invite you to meditate on that. Hi. Today, the Gospel's text and the meditation I would like to invite you is all about Judas and his betrayal and the steps he takes until to this point that he really gives Jesus the kiss and gives him away. And I'd like you to follow a little bit these steps. When you think about Judas, you have to remember he is free. Even if we had in yesterday's Gospel this text about Satan went into him, okay, yes, but he is free to do it or not. This idea, this moment of Satan entering him, this is maybe the point of no return, the point where he has made the decision and does it. Like when you decide to rob a bank, you get into the car, you drive, but you still can't stop it until the moment when you open the bank and says, "This is a robbery." So maybe this point of no return is meant in the Gospel of yesterday. But now we are in today's Gospel. When you pray about Judas, maybe you will have the question, as I have the question, why Judas? Why? Why are you doing this? And we will not have a final answer about that, because it's not written and it's about psychological speculations a little bit. But for me, always the one that was most best explaining everything was the one that he only wants to force Jesus to get rid of the Romans and to make a real revolution and to be this strong martial Messiah who restores the kingdom of David in a political way. This is what I always found most convincing. But this is not teaching, this is just one of the possibilities. For the meditation, as always, I propose 3 points. The first one is the first scene, Judas and the Jewish authorities. The question of Judas, what is in it for me, can evoke many feelings. How bad he is. But maybe there's also this question, how often do I ask this question before I do something good or something bad? What is in it for me? Or you look at it from this perspective, he's not giving away him already 100%. He says, okay, give me the money and I will say you when and how and so on. Maybe he's still having some doubts. Point number 2, the meal. Once again, but now from the perspective of Judas. What does he feel when Jesus says this? Does he feel himself like a kid that has stolen a cookie? Or has he real doubt in this moment? Or when he asks Jesus, surely not I, Rabbi? What does he feel? Try to think about that. Point number 3. Once again, Judas is not the main character. It's Jesus. So, read the text again from the perspective of Jesus, of his feelings, knowing Judas will do it. And you could imagine that Jesus wants to give him, with putting him into this situation of dipping it into it and giving the bread to him, saying, I know that's you, but I don't care if you come back now, if you convert now, everything is forgiven. Maybe you can understand this as the last, or maybe not the last, but the last written point of reconciliation. So once again, the 3 points. Number 1, Judas and the Jewish authorities. What does he say? How does he say it? And why? Point number 2, Judas during the meal. What are his feelings? Is his consciousness talking with him or not? Maybe you can think about point of no return. Is it there? And the 3rd point, look at Jesus. What is he saying? What is he feeling in this situation? How does he react to Judas? And how does he maybe even invite him to stop with his plans?